Midnight Double Feature presents Bad Crystal, a Breaking Bad podcast. On this episode, we bring you Season 2, Episode 4, Down, written by Sam Catlin and directed by John Dahl. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Bad Crystal. We are covering episode 4 of season 2 called Down. Colin, what's happening?
Hey, what's going on, dude? Excited, ready to jump into this shit.
Ready to jump into this shit. All right, quick recap. This is, I mean, not really a recap. More of just like a opening impressions of this particular episode. This episode is all about family and just how delicate and complicated the relationship between them are, especially Jesse's, right? I mean, like Jesse and his tumultuous relationship between his parents, we see that come to a head, and, you know, just kind of like what the ramifications of working with Walt are and the ramifications of this particular business, this particular industry that is in industry, right?
Yeah.
And Walt is really, really trying to cope with Skyler, and I guess Skyler's, hesitancy to believe him and feed into his lies. Like, we get to see how just terrible of a liar Walt is here, like in this fucking episode, dude. Like, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Talk to me about your impressions on this episode.
Yeah, I think that this follows a pattern that I've kind of like established, or I've said multiple times. It goes up, it goes down. This feels like, you know, last episode, it was, you know, not like action packed, you know, but we had so much from that Tuco episode with the death of Tuco that now it seems like that got so high. That was the most like actiony kind of, you know, except for Walt blowing up that building. It's the first like on screen, I feel like real like death. You know, you see Tuco kind of beat that guy to death, but this is just like a straight up like shootout. So once it gets up that high, that can't be your life every day. You know, you've got to like, now is damage control. This and the last episode feel like straight up damage control.
Yeah, no, absolutely. 100% hit the nail on the head. Like, this feels like this is the real life ramifications that you're dealing with, because you have a family. Like, you know, you're like the people that you are cooking for, the people that you are trying to make money for, they're going to start asking questions, you know, like you're going to eventually need to lie to fix the lie. Like, you know, like there's a lot of that in it too.
Right.
And Jesse in particular, this is Jesse's episode for me. Like, I think, you know, unequivocally, Aaron Paul is outstanding in this episode, man. Like, he is just working, just slinging that acting dick that he's got, man. Like, he is killing it in this episode. And like, we really see just kind of like the lows that Jesse kind of like has to go through here. And, you know, like when he gets to the bottom of the bottom, who does he reach out to at the end of the episode but Walt? You know, like he's just it just keeps him coming back like a fucking meth addict. It's great. It's good stuff. What do you think about getting into this episode right after I give you some trivia? Sorry, I was like, wait, hold on. There's some fucking trivia here. There's literally one piece of trivia. John Dahl. We covered an episode directed by John Dahl. A movie directed by John Dahl, rather, on the Midnight Double Feature. What do you think about that?
What movie?
Did you know which one?
No.
Joyride was directed by John Dahl, otherwise known as Roadkill.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. And he also directed Rounders, actually, which is a pretty good movie if you haven't seen Rounders.
Yeah. It's great.
That's fucking solid. So John Dahl is one of the first few kind of like big guest directors that comes up throughout the Breaking Bad run. There'll be others, some huge ones later. But yeah, John Dahl definitely sticks out for sure. But guys, thank you so much for joining us here at Midnight Double Feature, where we will be covering Breaking Bad rather. Holy shit, man! We just covered, we just did like a 3-hour episode on The Wrestler, and I'm just like, man, like tuning out. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Head to midnightdoublefeature.com if you want to know anything else that we do. Head to patreon.com/midnightdoublefeature to become a member of the Green Room. That's where you can support Bad Crystal and Midnight Double Feature, which is our main podcast rather. And that's where you can get attuned and help us out and keep the lights on here at Midnight Double Feature. Let's get into this, right? Cold open again. We get this pink bear that we've seen before in that pilot episode, but we get some more information this time. This bear is fished out by an unseen man in a chemical suit, put next to a bunch of evidence, one being Walt's glasses.
Yeah.
What do you think about this opening?
Yeah, at first I was like, oh, cool, it'll explain this in the whole episode. And I'm like, fuck. By the end of this, it's like, all right, well, it's still a cliffhanger. I think it's honestly just showing the merging of the two worlds with showing the glasses. That's kind of like the signature Walt kind of thing. So seeing everything being pieced up, piece by piece and put in bags where it's like your life is going to be under such heavy scrutiny now from both, legitimate and unlegitimate sources. We're like, this is what your life will be now. And they're kind of on a crash course for each other. And it's like, man, you whatever this is it's not a good reason probably why someone's doing this. And now this looks to be Walt's house, I assume. It could be somebody else's, but if I'm right and this is Walt's house, it just really shows where it's like, man, this is getting way too close to home. This is not us, out in the desert anymore, wrecking an RV. This is like at your front door.
Absolutely. And it's really clever because it's totally at odds with what Walt's trying to achieve the entire episode, which is distancing himself and Skyler and his family from what he is doing. So, like when you've got this cold open, which is most likely probably going to tell us what's going to happen in the future, like chances are, through all the efforts that Walt goes throughout this entire episode, it's probably going to be moot, right? Like everything that he does, it's probably going to end up in, oh shit, like he doesn't really get himself out of this, which is really interesting. So we get the title card. Jesse encounters this homeless guy. I love that Jesse's sweet with this guy, man, like fist bumping him. Like he's just like, it's not kind of like, fuck you, dude. Like, don't look at my ride. Like, it's just, hey, man, how you doing? It's interesting because Jesse comes devastatingly close to ending up like this dude in this episode. There's something awesome.
There's something about the foreshadowing of that, of showing up on the bike because your car got fucked up. And now here you are riding on this motorcycle. But, the guy's not crazy. It's not like he's shitting in his hand and throwing it at him. He's just like, hey, what's up, dude? Like, you're cool,
Right. Jesse meets with Walt. They're doing the old, like, pretend like we're buying something, but really we're talking out of the corner of our mouths thing. This is like, total spy bullshit. Walt says it's too hot to start cooking. I just put my family through an ordeal that they're just only now starting to accept. Can't leave my house for extended periods of time. Jesse pleads with him to see his side of the story. He's cashless because Hank confiscated his money, and Walt just gives him like a paltry $600. This cop walks in. Walt says no contact, and Walt loves this spy shit, right? Like he loves that. He's like, whoa, where are you going? I leave first. Like, he just fucking lives for this shit.
This whole scene makes Walt look like such a prick, where it's like, dude, $600? That's nothing, man. Like, that's not even going to cover rent. Like, you'd burn through that in a hotel room in like a week. And it's like, that's nothing, So it really shows you how little Walt seems like he really gives a fuck about Jesse, where he's like, I leave first. You sit there next to the cop, and it's like, no, this is my money. Like, oh, it's your carelessness, and it's like, dude, you throw shade at everybody but yourself. That's the crazy part about this, is that Walt is basically just doing everything he can to paint himself in a good light, when everything else is just like, dude, that's not accurate. That is accurate if you spin and you do backflips, but that's not how that went down.
No, yeah, absolutely, man. Like, and like, Like, why not just cut Jesse a break? Like, the reasons he lost his money, just the situation was extenuating. These are crazy circumstances that he had his money confiscated. Like, no one was gonna guess that Hank was gonna show up to kill Tuco, like
Right.
in any situation. So just cut the guy a break and give him half. Like, like it's insane. $600, that is insulting.
Right.
Skylar wakes up in bed alone and just kind of freaks out, dude. Like, again, Anna Gunn, just really, really great. She's just like, Walt? Just like immediately crying out for him. Walt's in the kitchen cooking up a storm. He's pretty chipper, and you can see that it actually unsettles Skylar. She is very clever picking this up, dude. Like, she is very, very smart because she knows that he is now probably trying to overcompensate or something for something. Like, it's just like, why is he so happy? This feels very fake. Like him cooking breakfast. It's just it's too much. And she reads it immediately. She doesn't buy into it at all.
Right. This feels like a guilty man's, it's like where we've actually just covered the wrestler, and he shows up and he's like giving her presents and stuff. And it's like trying to show, exactly. It's like having a fight with a significant other and you come home and like dinner's cooked and the house is clean and everything's been taken care of. And it's like, yeah, you're doing this because you're trying to make amends for something, yet you really nothing you should need to feel to make amends about. Right. Like that's what kind of gives him away.
Right. Absolutely. Our son doesn't know who Boz Skaggs is. We have failed as parents. Walt brings up this UNM seminar that Skylar might like a whole week long. And Walt, man, like Walt thinks he's a brilliant manipulator, but in reality, he's just a horrible liar. Like this is so bad, man. Like just what a terrible way to kind of like get Skylar out of the way or like kind of distract her or something. It's just so easy to read through, man. Like, what do you think about this?
Yeah, well, and it's very, again, the fact that Walt is just like, no, there's no cooking, I'm under damage control, blah, blah, blah. And then to turn around and be like, hey, I think you should leave the house for a week, and it's like, dude, come on, man. Like it's not, your delivery is terrible, but then it's also the timing of your lie. And it's like, dude, the timing of it is just, the timing of the lie is absolutely nuts, and it's like that's what's mind blowing to me is the fact that you're not just like, if Alda just woke up and acted normal and was just like, hey, I'm just hanging out, what are we doing now? We're just, we're going to go to Pottery Barn and fucking buy some shit that we don't need or whatever. That would be a little bit different. The fact that he's like rejuvenated is the weirdness of it.
Absolutely. I mean, like, and then you get like this bullshit about the phone being his alarm in reality. Like, what the fuck?
It's way
like,
too much of an explanation. It's way too much.
Yes, you are over explaining, right? Like, this is a textbook kind of like thing where, like, I'm pretty sure this is like a psychologist thing, right? Like, they always pick up on like whenever someone's lying because they tend to over explain because they've rehearsed the story so many times in their head or something like that. That's exactly what this is. And, like, I love that we just focus on Skylar's face as Walt just tries to feed her this bullshit until Walt just turns around and she's gone. Like, left without a cell phone. Just gone. See you later. Bye.
Right.
See ya.
And see, that's... I get what she's doing, and I understand that, but there's also something extremely childish and immature about it that I fucking hate. I fucking hate it. And it's like, man, I am not... this reminds me.
I've got it in my notes. I've got it in my notes because I'm just like, man, I am someone who, if I have a problem with something, I will communicate it with my better half. Like I will make it known what I don't like so we can work on it. I don't like the silent treatment. I hate the silent treatment. I think it just exacerbates things even further. Yeah. But yeah. Sorry. The point you were going to say. Sorry.
No, you're fine. That was pretty much it. My thing is also the fact of like, and playing devil's advocate, it's not her problem to solve. Like something is going on with Walt and she's tried and she's brought it up and he's obviously lying. But the thing is, playing this, she doesn't even play it in a way where she's like, I'm mad at you and you know that I'm mad. She's playing such a middle ground bullshit, get in your fucking head tactic that I hate. Where it's like, no, I'll act like civil, more than civil to you, but I won't go any further than that. And it's like, it would be one thing if she just walked in and she were just like, where have you been? She's like, don't worry about it. And she was, an asshole, or she was being a bitch, that would be one thing. But the fact that you want to play both sides and act like nothing's going on, but we both know very well something's going on, that's where the bullshit comes into play. And I'm like, that is fucking childish, and it's manipulative. And it's like, and the thing is, yes, Walter is doing these things that she knows they're lies, but at the end of the day, she has absolutely no evidence to back that up. She has nothing. She has literally no evidence to show that he has been anywhere or done anything or been with anybody. It's all circumstantial and it's all suspicions. And that's granted, there's strong suspicions and there's been some weird stuff going on, but there is also the fact that your husband, you're pregnant. He has a son with cerebral palsy. He'll be dead in 18 months. And it's like, and you don't maybe stop to, I don't ever see a point where she maybe double checks herself and is like, should I be doing this? And am I maybe wrong? And it's like, no, she immediately just goes off of her gut. Therefore, she must be right. And I fucking hate that, man. It's like, granted, Walt is doing fucked up shit, and we know he's doing fucked up shit, but there's a reason he's doing fucked up shit. And at the end of the day, there's something about what she's doing that it doesn't benefit anybody but herself. And that's what I really don't like about it. And it's hard because, Walt is deliberately lying to her and avoiding the truth. But at the same time, it's for a very good reason. That's what I come back to today. Your context is king. Your intent in what you're doing is the most important thing. And his intent is not to cause her harm and is not to, do any of this stuff, that most people who lie about stuff, have extramarital affairs or they have second families. And it's not that. It's actually the 100%. I'm doing this to protect us and build a better tomorrow for us. But the fact is, he just can't jump in and share that with her. I hate how I hate how she responds to this. It's so immature, and I can't stand it.
I think, yeah, no, absolutely. It can be better handled for sure. And I think that's a flaw in Skyler's character, really. I mean, she's I think that's by design. She is not someone who probably would, maybe she's just done talking, really. Maybe she's just kind of done. Yeah. She's reached to that point, that breaking point. Hence the cigarette, right? It's just fuck, I need to chill out. I just need to fucking chill out. But also, she is, yeah, and you're 100% right. She doesn't have a shred of evidence. The biggest piece of evidence that she has is the third party that has no interest in this, that is Hank, who confirmed that there is a second cell phone. Hank is totally objective. There is no subjectivity to him whatsoever when it comes to Skyler and Walt. He is a DEA agent. He's confirmed that Walt has a second cell phone. So her being unable to drop that particular piece of information that she's received from Hank, I think, is what's keeping her going mostly than anything else. And I'm not saying that how she's acting is right, but yeah.
I will disagree in the fact of he doesn't confirm that there's a second cell phone. He just confirms the fact that there wasn't a call. There wasn't a call on the cell phone that she is aware of.
Yeah. That's
Which
a good
is
point.
Still, that's a very murky line, even in legal speak. That's just technically I didn't shoot.
Circumstantial. Yeah.
I didn't shoot him. I shot at him. And it's that's still, that's still not great.
Right. Exactly. No, that's a good point. Sorry, I'd forgotten about that. Do you want to host this show? Fuck you. So Jesse's meeting with his parents and their lawyer. He thinks it's another intervention, but in reality, they're evicting him from his aunt's house. And it's just kind of sad, man. I actually, I was like, man, the first thing he jumps to is intervention. God damn it. It's just holy shit. The lawyer makes it clear that he was only allowed residentially privileges. Parents were always property owners. And don't forget that this all began when Hank went looking for Jesse and spoke to his mother, right? That's how this started, basically. And again, it just kind of reminds me of fuck, this is all a chain reaction. It's the
all circles,
falling. Exactly. Jesse tries to lie his way out of this, but his mother found the lab in the basement. And man, what a pan-shitting moment. Dude, I love the father. You're a speed manufacturer. What?
My question also is like, what is going on with the fact? Why are they doing this? Why don't they just say, you know what? We don't want anything to do with that house. Take it. We have a house. We have a very nice house. Why do you need to come in here and remove him from this place? And I feel like it's gotten to a point where this is what also pisses. And I know these are unpopular opinions, but they're my own. I don't give a fuck. Legalize meth. Do what Portland did. Just go nuts. Fucking decriminalize and legalize. So my thing is the fact of, it's one thing to disagree with his lifestyle, and it's one thing to cut him off and say, we won't have any contact with you. But it's another thing to then take that person's home away from them and the fact that you hope it will change who they are. In fact, that's not going to do anything but, that's not going to do anything but wind you up on the first 48 when he murders both of you in your sleep. And it's like that's the shitty part about it, where it's like you think you're being a great parent by knocking this person into homelessness. You are only putting this person in more danger by doing that. And that is such an 80s parents, it's tough love. You just got to do it. And that's the way a lot of my parents' decisions were. A lot of friends growing up, that's what their parents did. And it only served to drive them farther apart. Take this thing I don't want, or take this thing I can't have and put it on a shelf. I only want it more. So it's like, if it were truly a thing of, we just don't want anything to do with you anymore, then just sever the ties, give him the house, and just be done with it. Because like he said, I was here. I was taking care of our aunt. Like, I deserve some part of this. And I think he overstates exactly what he's doing, but there is some kind of base truth there. And it's like, and the thing is, you have a home, you have all of these things. Why don't you just leave me alone? If you're worried about your name being on the thing, just give it to me and leave me alone. So I really hate the fact that this is not them cutting Jesse out of their life. This is them going out of their way to make his life worse. So he will eventually come around to their decision. You see what I mean? I hate it. I fucking hate it.
I didn't see it from that point. Yeah, that's interesting, and I 100% agree. It seems like a positive move to punish Jesse, right? It seems like a positive step and action that they took to punish him, rather than I agree. This sounds like an old school kind of parent thing where it's just like, we'll just take away everything and you're just going to have to quit cold turkey. You're just going to have to go cold turkey. See you later. But yeah, I agree with you. It seems like this, but I do. Okay. I'll tell you what though, this feels like a couple of parents who have been through this so many times with Jesse that they're just at the end of their tether. I understand the part where it's, we need to sever all ties. I understand that part clearly, because you can see it on their faces that it's just like, fuck, man, we've been through this so much. This look that the mother gives, especially when she's just kind of staring off in the distance, and you kind of get the vibe that she was kind of coerced by the father into this. Fuck, we need to be strong. We need to remain a united front. I buy that 100%, that the parents are kind of fed up, and because they've been through this so much. But yeah, I agree with that. The house, but it might also come from a place of maybe if we take this away, he will be better, which he won't be, right? That's something that you and I understand, but a parent, I don't know whether they'll understand that. I don't know whether a parent who probably most likely wants their son, that they probably, they're going to say that they care about, and they're that they want to sever all ties with, deep down actually still cares about them. They probably definitely will. So I don't know. It's kind of like a tough love situation, but also I don't know if this is the best way to go. You and I know that. I don't know if the parents know that. But,
right. Yeah. Like us having a problem with a podcast, and you're like, Colin, you can't come on for 6 weeks. I'd be like, I will burn your house down, you bitch. Get the fire, kill you.
Right. But here's the thing, right? Maybe it comes from a level of uneducation. My parents could probably do this. If I was a drug addict, my parents being migrants from Fiji who don't have education on drug use and drug abusers and how people who abuse drugs act when they like quit cold turkey. I feel like my parents would do this same thing, same exact thing.
Right.
So, but I get the sense that Jesse's parents are more educated than that. So I don't know.
I will say from personal experience, like going through this currently and in the past with family members, where something is obviously going on when you do this, and you're right, you can only let somebody kind of strike out so many times where you eventually have to lay down the law. But when you come through and you remove that person from any kind of stability, and I get it though, it is a two-way street, because you can only ask somebody what's going on so many times before you're just eventually like, you're obviously not going to tell me. So if I cut off your source of this of some kind of stability, maybe that'll actually have you come
tell me
around
out
again.
Of desperation. Yeah, absolutely.
Right. And that
but
almost
that's it,
never
right?
works.
Desperation is dangerous, right? Like once you drive someone to the level of desperation, that's when they become unpredictable, right? And that's not what you want. You don't want unpredictable, because it could lead to violence.
You could not have said it any better. Coming from personal experience, that is 1,000%. The irrationalities that spring from this situation, 100% correct.
Yeah, totally. Skyler comes home as if nothing happens, right? Like she just literally just says like 2 words before she jumps in the shower. And I love Walt genuinely trying to connect with her. Like this is, as shitty as Walt is, and like as terrible of a liar he is trying to make amends. It is just like, Huh? Are you going to talk to me?
Right.
Like, I feel it a little bit, Like, I feel like the level of... Again, it's similar to Jesse, right? Like he needs Skyler, and he's kind of like being driven to a point of like desperation, right? Like kind of like going cold turkey because she's literally just like walking out the door without an explanation. So it's just like, I wonder, like, it's kind of like, I wonder how far he'll go before he like loses his mind without her, but whatever. Because that would drive me fucking nuts, to be honest. If my fucking better half walked out, like, knowing that she's pissed at me, and like I had no idea where she's fucking going, I'm just like, dude, but can we fucking sit down and talk about this, please? Like, I can't
feel like
deal with the silence.
On the third day, I would eventually go out and just like pull the batteries out of both cars and be like, where are you going?
Literally, dude. Literally. I'd just fucking get like pull the batteries out. Exactly, 100%. Fucking nailed on the head.
Doesn't bother me so much if she weren't like insanely pregnant. That's the biggest problem. Like that
I'd take the fucking keys.
Right. That's where it gets to costing concerns. Like, okay, listen, I know you're mad at me, but you are a pregnant woman running outside without your cell phone, and that's not, you are beyond rational thought at that point. Like, this is not the way to go about this.
Right, exactly. Jesse's mother pays him a visit. He's hiding his drug stuff, including a bong and a pipe. Both a bong and a pipe. And it's clearly like it's getting very clear that Jesse's got a bit of a drug problem, right? I mean, like this is, although we're not seeing Jesse smoke bowls every episode, or sorry, like like pipes every episode full of meth. It's little things like this. Smoking a bowl, is that it? Is that the term? I don't do anything. So
I don't do pot.
I don't do weed.
Yeah, that's the best.
I don't do grass.
I don't do the devil's lettuce. No, yeah,
it is both. Okay,
this is where it's actually like, they really kind of hit home the fact that he is like cannot function without this, and he doesn't. He is kind of the first rule of Scarface: don't get high on your own supply. This guy is not capable of that, but Jesse does have the capability. Like when he was with Badger and he's like, dude, cut it out. This is not good enough. Like he has the capabilities to be really, savage when it comes to this. But at the same time, like now is not the time. Now is the time. It's like, I'm just trying to figure out where the fuck I'm sleeping, dude. It's like, I don't blame him, come home and you're on a bender, I don't blame him.
Well, yeah, he's trying to figure out basic fucking life, right? I mean, like, literally food, water, shelter. He needs shelter,
Right.
But yeah, so she says the time for talking is past, Jesse, and they're putting his stuff in his storage. Why don't you grow up, Mum? He says. And like what you said, and you picked up on this, which is great because I wrote this down. I actually question to what extent Jesse took care of his Aunt Ginny, because the mum says you did not make her lunch every day. And that one line of dialogue makes us doubt whether Jesse actually took care of Ginny or not. Because, her refuting Jesse's claims makes me think that he was just probably using his aunt for his own drug-fueled pursuits or something. It's interesting. That. It gives me some doubt, like some level of doubt. It's such an interesting thing. Sorry.
No. You're fine. I wondered that as well, and I was like, to what extent is this actually what's legitimately going on? But the fact that she wanted him there, the fact that he was able to stay there as long as he did something. And the crazy part is the fact that he brings up, I was here every day. She wanted me here. I made her lunch. You took the most insignificant fact he threw at you, and that's what you picked apart. You didn't pick apart the fact that she wanted him here, that she asked him to be here, and that I have been there before and had to take care of someone that was sick and that someone that was terminal. And it's like, man, that is not an easy thing to do. And when you have somebody who wants to criticize that, or when you have somebody who wants to actually say something about it, yeah, you get, who the fuck are you? You get you get that way very quickly.
Well, because they're also attacking your credibility, right? So that's you as a person they're attacking.
Well, and it's also a shit thing to do, like, oh, you're a fuck up of a son and we're taking your house and you were a piece of shit. You never really took care of your aunt. I hope these people end up on the first 48. I really fucking do. I fucking hate his parents, man. I fucking hate them.
Yeah, look, they're pretty hard and fast. She kicks him out and begs him to turn his life around. Jesse, yeah, this is gonna help big time with that, bitch. Man, and look, the word bitch and Aaron Paul, I'm pretty sure Aaron Paul can't walk around on the streets without being shouted bitch. That is his signature, and the delivery is just absolutely brilliant. We get Walt Jr.'s friend, Lewis, who rocks up to the white residence. Do you know who plays Lewis?
I don't know. It's Banshee from X-Men and Get Out and stuff.
Yeah. Caleb Landry Jones. Yeah, absolutely. He's from X-Men First Class, Get Out. He was in 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. He's popping up in a lot of shit. He's a good actor. Says that Flynn and me have to get going, right? What do you think about this?
This is stupid. I don't understand this. There's never, if they continue to call him that, or they make some kind of reference or point out something is going on, then I'll be okay with that. But if this is just like a one and done, this is stupid, and I don't like it. I feel like if they had he doesn't want to have your name anymore. That's a little bit different. That's got some brevity to it. He wants his own identity, and it's like, I just don't understand that. And it just, Flynn, he's like, Flynn? Like Errol? And I was like, yes, that's so good. Literally, that it feels like that guy would have picked a name like Skyler, reach for the Skyler, like fucking South Park. But yeah, the fact that the fact is he also didn't just pick you can just call me JR, or you can call me Dave, or you can call me John. Yeah, no, you call me Flynn. I'm not fucking calling you Flynn. I had a guy I worked in a restaurant with, and his name was Josh or John or something, and he had red hair, and I was like, what's your name, dude? He's like, oh, you can just call me Red. And I was like, no, see, actually that's my name here. I'm Red. And I was like, and people called me Big Red. I'm 6'4" and 300 pounds. I had a giant red beard, so people called me Big Red. And I was like, no, what's your name? And he's like, my name's Jake. And I was like, oh, all right, then. That's it. You ain't fucking Red. It's like, you don't walk in here and give yourself a nickname. And I was like, that's not the way that works. George Costanza, T-Bone from Seinfeld. Not the way that fucking works.
Oh, my God.
I love that name. I loved getting called Big Red. I was like, man, I'm cool with that. That's clever. I like that. I dig
awesome.
it. I got called the Ginger.
my nickname, I got called Zoe. Zoe. I've accepted Zoe.
I got Ginger Bear. Ginger Bear was a big one. Once that stuck, I was like, I'll take Ginger Bear. That's cool. I like that a lot.
The first time I heard Flynn, I was like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this? Because it's not even it's just something so far removed from your actual name, right? I was watching Family Guy recently, and you remember Quagmire's dad gets the sex change? Quagmire's dad his name was Dan, and after he gets a sex change, the name is Ida, right? Like that fits. That makes sense. It's Ida, Dan. Like, it makes sense.
Dramatic transformation.
Right, exactly. Flynn is just so far removed from Walt or Walt Jr. It's just like, what is this? But I don't know. There's something about it that's strange that kind of fits in with Walt Jr.'s strangeness. Like, you know, like he's just so like he's a bit of an oddball. Like, you know, like I don't know. I feel like there's something unless what they're trying to say here is he wants to distance himself from Walt so much that he goes in the crazy wild other direction, you know?
That makes a lot more sense to me. Like, I like that would really hit home, and that would have a lot of weight to it. Like, I had a girl I went to high school with, and her name was Morgan, and out of nowhere, after 17 years of having the same name, she just decided she wanted to go by her middle name and made like a MySpace post and was like, I want people to start calling me, and nobody did it. And it was like, dude, no, your name's fucking Morgan. No one's going to call you by your middle name. And I was like, who the fuck are you? And
especially
I was like,
when you're in high school, dude. Like, no one's going to like start changing. Like, if you change your name in high school, you're not going to be called the new name. Like, you know, these kids know you as that person.
Right. In middle school, my last name's Duncan. I got Dunkin' Donuts. That stuck forever. Yeah. And I was cool with it. I owned it because it was funny. And I was like, all right, cool. I get it. I'm a big dude. My last name's Duncan. Like, all right, you know, or like Colin Duncan. I got Kodunk all the time. But I never walked up to somebody and said, now I want you to call me Kodunk or Big Red. I've made that decision for all of us. And I was like, that's not how that works, dude.
The real tragedy here is that girl wrote 300 lines of code on MySpace to change her profile page. And
everybody laughed. Like,
no
shut
one
up, Meg.
fucking called.
Shut up, Morg.
Oh, Jesus. Skyler knew about, the Flynn name. She says, you know, he wants his own identity. Walt is concerned that Walt Jr. told Lewis about the blackout, but Skyler very rationally says Lewis is his friend and your disappearance upset him. Basically, she's saying you put the puzzle pieces together. You know, if you figure out whether he told Lewis or not, right? Very rationally. Skyler's going out again. Jesse calls, what part of no contact didn't you understand? Oh, he's pissed. Jesse pleads with him. He needs money because his situation is dire. Walt immediately jumps to the conclusion that Jesse smirked away the $600. Jesse calls back, and Walt just tears the phone out of the wall.
Damn. Dude. Well, then, to assume that he smoked the whole $600, I mean, I assume he smoked some of it, but it's like, dude, $600 is also nothing when you have, like, how many thousands of dollars in the fucking wall? Like, eat my ass, dude. Right.
Exactly. Oh, hey, you forgot something. You're going to need your ice trays. You're going to need your ice trays. Fuck me, man. Aaron Paul is brilliant. Jesse heads to a friend's place. This kid is fucking adorable, but looks German as fuck. Like the blonde hair and the blue eyes. Like, this is okay. All right. This guy, Paul, Jesse says 2 nights tops. This guy thinks that Jesse's living the dream. This family guy out there is talking about the lady scene out there while feeding his kid. I look, man, like, from a writing standpoint, this is actually fucking brilliant, right? Like, I love that Jesse is extrapolating and exaggerating his situation, you know? Like, I like that he's being like, oh, yeah, this girl's out there on every corner. And, like, this guy, this family man is missing that, you know, he's kind of laments Jesse's life. He's just like, goddamn, you must slay pussy all the time. And he's just
right.
Yeah, I love it. I actually really like that.
That and the irony in all of this is the fact that dude even acts like he has any kind of control over his life. His kid won't listen to him. His wife shows up and she's like, whoosh, like immediately.
Dude, no, sorry, not even 2 minutes. There, like, I should have timed it. I should have timed how long it takes that woman to change his mind. I should have timed it. Well,
and I here's another First 48 family. It's a back-to-back episode. It's a double feature. No, well, the guy is just like, this guy was in a band called like Kunthausen or something nuts. Like, what is the name of the band that he's like, dude, we ought to put like Wolf and Puss back together again. He says the band name. I had the subtitles on.
Does
Something
he?
gross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he
Right,
said
hold on.
whatever
I'll
the
look it up.
fucking crazy band name is. But the fact that this guy is just like, yeah, dude, like,
I've got it.
man, what is it?
I've got it. Twat hammer.
Yeah, twat hammer. It's like, dude, the fact that you think, that, you know, Jesse is living this like crazy cool life of not having to blah, 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 or whatever. But then also to turn around and then to act like, dude, yeah, that sounded sick. Dude, we should get together and we should. And, you know, the second your wife is like, no, you know, we have to go over to so-and-so's house that night. This guy's, you know, balls just pick up and move to the other side of town. And it's like, my thing is like, I hate seeing anybody in a relationship, male or female or vice versa, where somebody is just that controlling, or the fact that it's like, I have a friend of mine who, right. I have a friend of mine who wants to stay the night for a couple of days, like, but she immediately is just like, no. And I'm like, good God, this is the lady who ends up getting caught embezzling money from like her firm, wherever she works, and she gets busted. And I'm like, these are the people who think they're so awesome, and she busts some like white collar crime. But yeah, the fact that this guy is still like, he's playing bass and they're like, foul last season. He's like, okay, buddy, eat your carrots. I'm like, dude, you got something's going on with you, man. You are weird. Yeah.
This is going to end in a killing. Like, this is the Chris Watts situation, dude. You are going to kill your wife and your son.
Right. Well, dude, and the fucking, like, the fact that she comes in and you don't have the fucking balls to look me in the face and be like, you're not staying here. And it's like, that I would respect. I would totally respect you for that.
Paul, come help me with the groceries in the other room. Like, what the fuck?
It's like, oh yeah, like, come help me with this in the bedroom. And it's like 3 bags. I'm like, I can't stand that shit. If I don't want you in my fucking house, I'll look at you and say, I don't want you in here anymore. Like, goodbye, leave. Like, oh, I hate that shit.
You know what my favorite part of this is, though? Jesse is intuitive enough to know immediately as soon as she walks in the door, before she says anything, his head just drops. He's just like, fuck. Like, this is burnt.
If it had been something where Jesse was like, oh yeah, I totally like fucked the shit out of her and took $50 out of her wallet, and then she met this guy, that I could understand. But it's like, you immediately take one look at him and you're like, you're a piece of shit, get out of my house. It's like, well, that's kind of fucked up, dude.
And I'll tell you what, man, like, this is something that I love about the show, the clothing, right? Like, I mean, this guy's wearing a nice polo. Like, you know, Jesse's wearing like the oversized shit that he wears. Jesse is so quite clearly out of place in this scene, man. Like, it's just so, everything is clean. It looks immaculate, dude. It looks like they just bought a display home. Like, you know, that's exactly
my sister's cousin's husband smoked meth once, and now he's in a vegetative state. And I don't want that around my child. And it's like, okay, whatever. Well, your kid's going to grow up and be on Prozac and fucking hate you, by the way. So good luck with that.
Right. Fucking become Tony Soprano. Dude, I love him just coming out. You're going to kill me, man. My in-laws are crashing. Like, what the fuck? Jesse just grabs his crate and takes off.
Just come out and say it, dude. I hate it. I fucking can't stand it, man.
I hate the dancing around. Like, no, I hate that. Like, you know, this is going to affect my relationship with Jesse, and I still want to be friends with him, but not really, because my wife is probably not going to allow me to see him again. So why dance around this, you know?
Right.
Jesse's fast running out of options. I love him just like beating the shit out of that phone booth. Again, Aaron Paul killing this episode. His bike gets stolen. We again see the homeless man, and Jesse is fast approaching, taking a seat right next to him. He heads to Clovis's junkyard to sleep in the RV, but not before he takes a swim in some porta potty deodorizer.
Awful, dude. Ooh. Like the cherry on top of the sundae.
So you're literally covered in shit, you're homeless, and you're sleeping on a cardboard box on the floor of an RV parked in a junkyard.
That's full of meth supplies.
That's full of meth supplies. Right.
Yeah, it's about almost rock bottom. If you didn't have the RV and the meth supplies, I'd say this is rock bottom.
Right, exactly. And the only reason you have the RV is because you decided to go into the meth stuff. So,
right,
it all comes around. It all comes around. Skyler heads out again the next day. Where did Mum go? Out. Where's breakfast? Were you fucking entitled shit?
I love you. I could kiss you.
Shit.
I paused the episode and was like, if that kid's not handicapped, I'd punch him. And I was like, I swear to God.
Dude,
and if there's something this podcast will teach you, I hate women and the handicapped. No, I'm just kidding.
And black people. No.
But there is something like, there is something about the way he walks in and he just goes, where's breakfast? And I'm like, dude, are you still wiping? Do you wipe your own ass? Get a bowl of fucking cereal and shrug it off, dude.
Like, well, that's because his CP is not that bad, right? Like he is capable of pouring a bowl of cereal, right?
Right. So, you can't fucking pop a couple of Pop-Tarts in a toaster. Like, dude, I stopped and I looked at Lindsay. I was like, if we ever have a kid like that, I will smack the fuck out of him. Unless he has no arms and legs or he's like 5, then I will. Oh my God, I could not stand it. Did your parents make your breakfast when you were in high school? Are you fucking kidding me? And it's like, oh, Jesus, God almighty. I hate it. I fucking hate it, man.
Yeah, it's bad, man. It's bad. I'm so glad you caught it, bud. I knew you would fucking lose your shit at that moment.
I wish this were a visual medium, but my eyes just, and I looked over, I was like, oh.
Walt takes Junior out driving. Junior drives with 2 feet. By the way, before I used to drive, I remember always thinking that people drove with 2 feet. Like before I got into the driver's seat, and my dad was like, I was on my learners. My dad was like, "Yeah, you drive with 1 foot," and I was like, "Whoa, wait, what? You guys don't drive with 2 feet? What the fuck are you talking about?" That took me a long time, dude, before I realized.
Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah.
Let me ask you, whenever you're driving, is it the same gas on the right, brake on the left? Or do you guys have gas on the left, brake on the right?
Gas on the right, brake on the left, yeah.
Okay, cool. I didn't know if I know it's swapped like on the passenger side, but yeah, that's extremely strange the way he does this.
No, absolutely. But I chalk it up to his palsy, right? I mean, like he says, my legs don't work that way. And I think this is interesting because Walt can't accept that Junior's palsy won't let him use just 1 foot, right? I mean, like he keeps saying, your legs are fine. And he can't put himself in other people's positions like Jesse, right? And see things from their points of view. Why does he just not pull the handbrake here?
I wondered that. Well, I mean, I guess depending on how fast they go, Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I said the same thing. I was like, pull the fucking e-brake, dude.
Right. Clovis walks outside to see blue footsteps leading into the RV and finds a sleeping Jesse on the floor. Hands up, asshole. He's fucking pointing a shotgun at him. Jesse explains that he can't pay him today, but he can pay this week. They come to an agreement, $2,000. And man, that's Aaron Paul again. Like, I really, really need a break here. Like, man, fucking he's great. He's so good. Clovis doesn't go for it and kicks him out. While on the phone to his fence, Jesse jumps the fence again and takes off with the RV, breaking down the gate on the way out. What do you think about this?
Yeah, I was hoping he'd hit him on the way out, actually. It'd be fantastic. Yeah, the fact that Clovis, Jesus Christ. Yeah, the fact that this guy is nothing but like a what do you call it? Where he's just making money. He's exploitative. He's just making money off of any way that he can. And it's like, dude, I would rather hang out with the guy who's cooking meth with his high school teacher than this piece of shit. I would rather hit the meth bowl than spend one afternoon with this guy. And there is something so vile and disgusting about, I will exploit any situation I can, no matter legal or illegal, to benefit myself to my own gain, and show zero compassion to somebody who's already given me like $500 up front. Or has already given me that money, and now I'll just take his shit and sell it just because I can, because I'm a fucking asshole. And it's like, God, I was really hoping he was just going to end up like fucking roadkill in the front of that RV. I have what some people refer to as anger issues.
Yeah,
when I'm confronted by...
This started off as therapy. That's how the podcast started.
When I'm confronted by stupidity or selfishness or anything like that,
entitlement.
Any entitlement, selfishness, it like enrages me. I can't stand it. It makes me so fucking mad.
Oh boy, yeah. This is your court-ordered podcast therapy. That's because you managed to kill someone. Can you not look at me like that? Oh man. Where are we? So the next day Walt asks Skyler to talk. Even, dude, just with this shot of them on the couch, there's so much space between them, right? Like, I mean, there's the huge divide between them. Walt apologizes, saying that he loves her and he loves his family, making sure that they didn't lose contact. Skyler agrees to this, but her face says otherwise. She's clearly not convinced. And she says, how long are you going to do this? Walt says, how long are you going to do this? Going out all day and refuse to tell me where? You are obviously angry, so let's talk about it. And I'm just like, man, I'm a Walt, right? Like, I hate the lack of communication. This is literally the same exact sentence that I would say. Like, let's talk about this. I hate not talking about this. But it's interesting because Walt wants communication and kind of like honesty,
right,
but won't give it. Exactly. Like, you know, when we see him leave and, you know, walk outside the driveway at the end of season 1, when he's going into like Jesse's car and Tuco's there is nothing, like no communication to Skyler. You know, there's nothing given. So Walt would never tell her if she asked. This is a lie. You know, like, this is because she's really, really desperately trying to get Walt to tell the truth, but Walt won't give it. I heard you, Walt. You're not having an affair. Congratulations. Ugh, I love this. Shut up and say something that isn't complete bullshit. That is my favorite line of the episode, dude. And Anna Gunn is brilliant here. She gives him an out, saying that he has to tell her what's up, what's going on. No more of these obvious, desperate breakfasts. And coldly, he just says, tell you what. Oh, man. Right. You think that he's going to crack, but he just doesn't. I love it. And she just leaves.
I really thought this was going to be the moment where he's like, meth. Yeah. And he just, just spits it out.
It's good stuff. And I'm pretty sure Gilligan wanted you to think that way, right? I mean, like, Gilligan, like, that is what this was building up to. But the fact that even just with this, even with, like, it's reached this point, that you are still going to withhold that information. It's like, holy fuck, dude, what is it going to take? You know, what is it going to take for you to tell her, to be honest? Walt spots the RV literally just parked outside his house. Dude, the look on Walt's face as he just walks in the RV, just mouth agape, wide eyes staring at Jesse like, insane, dude.
My meth palace.
Oh, crazy. You never figured out how to think, did you, Pinkman? There is no your half of the money. There is only my half. Why should I be penalized? What is it that you do here? You are a pathetic junkie, too stupid to follow and understand simple and rudimentary instructions. This is brilliant. This causes Jesse to snap. This is the one bad day. This is the Joker, right? Like, this is Jesse on that bad day and being pushed and beaten and hammered until Walt walks in here and tells him that he is nothing but a 2-bit junkie. That just causes him to snap, right? He strangles Walt, raises his fist to punch him, but can't bring the hammer down.
I think there's also something interesting in the fact of that Jesse, who, you know, he's got some problems, but this guy is resilient. He has managed to take all of this damage and still, like, be up and swinging. And it really only hits the point when Walt comes in and is like to his face telling him what a piece of shit he is, when it's like, dude, I'm the one saving your life. I am part of the reason why you're probably even still alive. So when he ends up coming out and it's this thing of, you're a piece of shit. I've been meaning to ask. I'm the producer. I cook. From what I can tell, you were just a drug addict. And he's telling total falsehoods. This is total BS. This is not the truth. This is Walt's version of the truth. But it's also a thing of like Walt gets the cold shoulder, rightly so, and his intent is not bad. He's doing he's doing all this for the right reason, but when he starts lying and stuff, he's getting the cold shoulder and it's justified. So you get the cold shoulder for something that you did that is justified, and you fucking snap on somebody this big. And it's like Jesse has handled 10,000 times the amount of shit that you have in the last 2 days. And you have a fight with your wife and go off on this dude like that. That's the crazy. It really actually shows you, yeah, Walt might be smarter than Jesse, but Jesse is more resilient than Walt. Jesse can take the punch and maybe live to fight another day, but Walt will just, Walt kind of collapses under that pressure.
Yeah, I 100% agree, dude. Like it is, and it's interesting because it also like it tells me just how much Jesse, like Walt's thinking of Jesse means to Jesse. Like like the fact that he just thinks of him as a 2-bit junkie, that is enough for him to crack. Like it's good shit. It's
right.
Good stuff. I love it. Dude. Walt invites Jesse in, try not to touch anything. And Walt goes to the vent and makes a withdrawal for Jesse, right? Like that's what it took, which is insane. It almost took Walt being strangled and on the brink of death to relinquish the money, which is crazy.
Right.
Skyler smokes in her car, gets this crazy look from an onlooker. Mind your business, Sharon!
Right.
Fucking hell. Jesus Christ.
She gets out of the car and starts choking the woman in the parking lot.
She raises a fist like Jesse was about to and thing. Yeah. But that's it, man. That's the end of the episode. That's down. What'd you think?
I like this one a lot. Like I said, I have been really interested in what the ramifications of this will be and how long Walt can keep covering for himself. And I think that's all finally starting to get to a head. I hope that Jesse's parents are killed in a car wreck and his little brother gets to live with like Carl Sagan or something. I think that'd be fantastic.
Carl Sagan? Why Carl Sagan?
Carl Sagan, yeah. No, well, who's in that now? Neil deGrasse Tyson. There you go. He's a smart little kid. Oh, yeah. He should go live with somebody like that. Yeah. But it's also like, yeah, that's what's so shitty is Jesse has taken so much shit in his parents' eyes, but he actually was like the martyr for his brother and took that bullet of the joint and stuff earlier. So there's something really interesting about that is it's not their prodigal son is not as cracked up as they think he is. There's something interesting about that. But I'm really interested. There's no Hank. There's no Marie in this episode. There hasn't really been a lot of Marie going on lately. It's been kind of on the back burner. So I'm curious to see where that will pick up. But, I feel like we're hitting to the point. I know that Skyler eventually knows. I know enough of Breaking Bad that Skyler eventually knows. I'm wondering to what extent, how long. I feel like this is getting intolerable and unbearable. How much longer they can stretch this out. Like she's going to end up living with Marie and Hank or something before too long. So I'm curious where it'll go from that.
Do you think it's going to end in divorce or something?
No, because that would just further complicate things. I wouldn't say divorce because then she would basically get nothing if Walt died. Like there'd be no thing for her to inherit, as a spouse. That's just my thought, though.
Good thinking.
I feel like that would kind of complicate things is basically what I'm saying. Keep saying a lot. There's a lot of people that don't get divorced just because it stays simpler to be married and hate each other for tax reasons, all that stuff. So I'm curious to see where the fallout of all this will go from here. And I'd love to see Jesse drive by his parents' house in like a Ferrari, just getting fucking his dick sucked. Like, yeah, just burning out in their fucking driveway.
Fucking ripping shots with an MP5 into their windows. Fuck you, motherfuckers.
I just hope I never see I fucking hate his parents. But I'm interested to see really Jesse, because Jesse had just got shit on. I mean, literally this episode. And it really was very telling to see when Jesse's back is against the wall, he can lash out. He's not a little bitch, but also when Walt has his back against the wall, it doesn't take a lot for him to crumble and just start snapping at people around him, which is not a good mentality if you're a teacher, really, in all honesty. So I enjoyed this episode a lot. I'm curious. I think now the show is really starting to, when you see the trains like, but now the train is like, it's not quite at the speed. I think a good optimum speed, but
it's not at 88 miles per hour yet. It can't push a DeLorean into the future. Yeah,
right. But it's definitely getting there.
Nice, awesome wrap up, dude. I am keen to get to the next episode with you guys. Thank you so much for listening to Bad Crystal, where we covered Down. If you want to follow us, head to midnightdoublepfeature.com. You can find us pretty much everywhere through there. That's our main hub, and please support the show at patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature. That's patreon.com/Midnight Double Feature. Thank you so much for listening, guys. We will see you guys next week.